She had escaped unbearable political pressures. She still insists she did nothing wrong in attending athletics meetings on her previous visits to South Africa. Miss Budd says she's written off the Olympics and admitted to being angry and bitter about what has happened.
I'm angry at the fact that I am seen as a representative of South Africa, and therefore all South Africa's problems are loaded onto my shoulders, and people see me as a political pawn.
Do you think you could have avoided some of these problems by doing what some people have asked you to do, which is to condemn apartheid publicly?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I can't condemn apartheid because I don't want to allow, or don't want to make any public political statement.
Do you think people will exploit the fact that you've come back and use it against you?
As they've done in the past, they will probably again, yes.
Now Miss Budd says she must face the most crucial decision of her career alone, whether to stay here in South Africa or to fight her way back into world-class athletics and renewed controversy. This is James Robbins for the 9 o'clock news in Bloemfontein.
The farmer's daughter from Bloemfontein, frail, barefoot, was a potential world beater in her mid-teens. But South Africa's isolation from world sport left her quietly untested in international competition. The Daily Mail changed that. The newspaper brought her to England in March 1984, and she quickly received British citizenship. But with the publicity came the controversy as protesters singled her out as a symbol of apartheid. At first, the demonstrations had little effect on her performance. She fulfilled all her promise, breaking records on the way. But the deepening controversies over her continuing links with South Africa did eventually disturb her form and her health. Her alleged participation in meetings in South Africa and the high-level investigations proved too much.
When I saw her, she was crying, she was very anxious, she was very upset, she had headaches, her pulse rate was raised, she clearly hadn't slept well for several nights, so she was very tired and exhausted.
It's sad that she's had to suffer in the way that she has, but I think the Olympic Games are back on course. I think the British athletes will be there. They'll be there without Zola Budd, but one only hopes that in the long term that she comes out of this reasonably well as can be expected, and that she'll be back running again, and hopefully for Great Britain as well.
The anti-apartheid groups believe that Zola Budd could run for Britain again, but only under certain conditions.
Firstly, she has to prove herself to be a Briton. She has to remain in this country long enough not to cause provocations and problems internationally. And if these particular conditions are met, we will have no objections to Zola Budd participating in international competitions.
The Gleneagles Agreement of 1977 was drawn up to outlaw all significant sporting contacts with South Africa. The Commonwealth countries accepted that each country would determine its own methods to do this. In rugby, for example, the English national team who leave tonight for Australia could not visit South Africa. But if individuals want to go, then the choice is theirs. But some British athletics officials believe the Zola Budd affair shows that further clarification on sporting contacts is necessary.
Somebody's got to sit down and say, what can people do in South Africa, anything at all, and lay it down hard on the line so that people like Zola Budd know exactly what they can or cannot do when they go back to South Africa.
A redefinition of the rules may help Zola Budd sometime in the future, but for now, her ambitions as an Olympic competitor lie in ruins.